Hey everybody, I'm Tom Vasel and welcome to Week in Review. This is a video we do every week here in the Dice Tower where I simply tell you, and all of us tell you, about the videos we did last week, short descriptions of each, and then if you want to see the whole review, the whole shebang, we have links in the description below. Let's get started.
Hey everybody, I'm Zee Garcia and here's what I reviewed last week. So I reviewed the Quake and the Undead, which I rate a 5 out of 10. This is a zombie shooting, dice rolling, crazy, I don't care what you think about me kind of game, and that's from the game's point of view, by the way. It's a very stubborn game in many ways. It's a game that is lots of take that. I mean, it's hostile almost. It expects the players to be literally every action has something to do with stealing or killing, not just zombies, but another player at the table. And I think for some folks, they're really going to like that the game is so no holds barred. And it sticks to its guns so much. But I think some folks are just going to find it an absolute luck fest, and abhor the entire experience. So look into that one and see which of those camps you think you might fall into. I reviewed Composition, which I rate a 5.5 out of 10. This is a word-building game with a really weird theme about being composers or maestros, drafting letters, and then using the letters, which they call notes, even though not every letter is a note. Like an E, that's a note, but like, a W, that's not a note. And then building words. It's okay. I feel like the return, like how many words you build by the game length of the game doesn't seem to be a great conversion rate. You can play something like Paperback, and the game's going to be shorter, and you're going to do more of the thing you showed up to do, i.e. build words and, mess with the vocabulary. So it just feels a little clunkier than maybe it should for a game coming out now in a genre that's been explored quite a bit. I reviewed Fear of Dracula, the app version on iOS, and I rate that a 7 out of 10. I think the graphics need a little improvement. I think some of the user interface could use a little bump, but overall the game is fun. Fear of Dracula is just a fun game anyway. The AI seems to be very fair and even-handed and works well. And it's nice to be able to play, say, all the hunters versus Dracula, which is one of the things you can do, my preferred thing to do. You can do that in 45 minutes or an hour and have a great time with this cat and mouse game. I really like it. If you find yourself being a fan of the game but never having time to get it to the table, or folks to get it to the table with, try out this app. Lastly, I reviewed Renature with the rest of the fellas, and I rated it a 7 out of 10. I got a couple of issues with it. I think it's a game that has a bit of a problem with its identity, who it might be for. So many of the aspects in the game feel like they are for a family, or meant to be explored in a family setting. And yet there are a few gamey rules in there that seem at odds with that. But overall, I like the way the game works. I think it's a very breezy game in many ways. The cadence of the game seems relaxing, even though, again, some of the rules tend to be more cutthroat than I thought was necessary. But overall, I liked it. I think it's one that a lot of folks will enjoy, and just don't expect the game to be either, revolutionary in either the gamer category or the family weight category, and you're going to have a good time with it. So there you go. That's it for me. I'll see you on the next one.
Hello everybody, this is Graeme Anderson, and this week I looked at Pacific Rails Inc. This is a game about building the first transcontinental railroad. You're going to be using worker placement to gather resources, hire workers, build track, then lay track to connect new cities. There's a bunch of mechanisms I enjoy, worker placement and some engine building, and although the mechanisms worked, I felt the resulting game just didn't live up to the sum of its parts. I gave this one a 6 out of 10. And that's it for this week.
Hey guys, Blake here, and this week I took a look at Windward, a pick up and deliver style game for 1 to 5 players, plays in about 60 minutes, set in this almost steampunkish style world where you're sailing the skies, taking down these giant monstrous creatures, and I love the artwork, I love the theme, I think the gameplay is good, rulebook could use a tweak here or there, but for me this game is a solid 7.5 out of 10.
Hey there everybody, it's Mike DiLisio, and this week I reviewed 2 games. First, I reviewed the solo mode for Dive, a beautiful looking game where you play undersea divers trying to retrieve the sacred stone. For the solo game, I couldn't give this a recommendation. I gave it a 6 out of 10. I love the multiplayer game, but a lot of my favorite parts of that are taken away in the solo game. So while it's not bad and it's nice to have it there as part of the multiplayer game, I can't recommend it as a solo-only purchase. I also was involved in a Foursquare review for Renature, a new Kramer and Kiesling area control game. I also gave this a 6 out of 10. I just didn't feel like there was enough decision making. There are other area control games, really even by the same designers, that I would play much more often than this one. I just didn't feel like there was enough there. So that's it for me this week. Let's keep it moving.
Well, for me, several games I did not like this week, actually. Starting with the Matchbox game series, which is 5 little bad games with indecipherable rules in one package. I didn't enjoy this at all. Renature, we did a 4-way review on this one. I was the lowest one here with my ranking. Zee liked it more than I did. I just felt like the combination of luck and heavy strategy, it was just a weird mix for me that didn't ring. Guildmaster, I really want to like this one, but this one just has so much going on in it, but I don't think the gameplay, pans out. Also, if you fall behind in this one, it's really hard to catch up. Forward Thinking, this is an okay party game where you're trying to put together groups of 2 letters to make 4 words. If you know someone who likes little word games, tile laying, this will work for them. In Magnificent Style, Pickett's Charge. This is a game based on the Pickett's Charge from Gettysburg, the Battle of Gettysburg from the American Civil War. There's a lot of interesting things about it. The game is pretty neat, but I didn't feel like the choices for me, this is a solo game, were really that interesting. It was almost as if I was just a spectator rather than a player. Danger Park, I reviewed with my kids. I thought the game was fine. There's some interesting, I love the theme of it, but there was, again, too much going on and too much luck for me to really recommend it. I love the theme of the park breaking down, and it's not a good park, but you want people to come anyway. Best chess set ever? Well, that's not true, but it's a good chess set, and I just talked about what comes in this box. Shamans. This is an excellent card game that's really more than meets the eye in a sense. As you play cards, it's a mix of social deduction and trick-taking, which sounds horrible, but the combination really works well. Summoner Wars, 2nd edition, amazing. I love Summoner Wars. This improves on it in many ways. In fact, I did a comparison video between the 2 editions of it also. But just a fantastic 2-player tactical battle game. I think it's amazing. Definitely check it out. Also did the top 10 best-selling games from Game Nerds from March 2021 and my top 10 timed games. I did a list on that. Hey, we are back together in the studio. Everyone here is vaccinated, so we did our Shoots and Marbles together. We did our I did a boring unboxing, 5 more great games. We did crowd surfing here in the studio. You'll continue to see that as time goes by. And of course, look back and other videos came out this week. So I hope you enjoyed all that. Until next time, I'm Tom Vasel, and you've been watching Week in Review on the Dice Tower.